Hello stock traders and investors, welcome back to our EquiTalks series. Today is April 8, 2020, the last trading day of the week before the long weekend. Well, actually, it has been a long weekend for all of us in relation to the COVID-19's enhanced community quarantine. But anyhow, this is already our EquiTalks episode number 131. And by the way, my name is JC De Guzman, founder and CEO of Equilyst Analytics Incorporated. And in today's episode, let's talk about Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company with a stock code of MBT, Metrobank for short. The question that I'm going to answer by the end of this analysis or discussion is this: is MBT too cheap to ignore? Is it time? Is it already the logical time to buy MBT? Should you buy the dips? Before we answer that question, let's start first with my analysis. Metrobank closed today at 36.30. It went down by 2.02%. The total turnover value reached 181 million pesos, and surprisingly, local traders were the main drivers. Meanwhile, foreign investors are net sellers today, with the net foreign selling worth 111 million pesos. So obviously they are uh, they are still net sellers year to date because of that pattern. The immediate support that we're seeing is, let's take a look at this chart. The immediate support is pegged near 36.4, while the or 23.10 rather, while the resistance is at 36.4. Now, MBT is just 10 centavos away from re-entering the previous range, which will make 36.4 as a support level and not as a resistance once it re-enters the previous range. But as far as today's price action is concerned, 36.4 is acting as its immediate resistance. In other words, it broke down below the previous support, making that previous support as the immediate resistance at this moment. Okay, now let's take a look again at the chart. With a historical volatility score of 60.64%, I would say that Metrobank has a moderate risk level. Do I see a buy signal confirmation? Well, for us to see a buy signal confirmation here at Equilyst Analytics, the 10 MACD and momentum power indicator of a stock must be both bullish. The question now is the 10 MACD bullish? Let's find out. Well, it's no longer bullish because the last price is already trading below the 10 SMA, even though MACD is trading above the signal line. Now, regardless of the status of the momentum power indicator, since the 10 MACD is already bearish, that already means there is no buy signal confirmation yet for Metrobank. Again, as far as today's market closing is concerned, April 8, 2020. Okay? Now, on my trade and volume distribution chart, for the sake of discussion, let's proceed. Let me just briefly give you an idea about the status of the momentum power indicator of Metrobank. Today's volume weighted average price is at 36.82. That's already higher than the last price. And since this particular element of the momentum power indicator is bearish, that already makes the entire momentum power indicator bearish. So we already have two reasons why there is no buy signal confirmation for Metrobank. And the true market sentiment, which is bearish. Seconds, the motion. If you'd like to know more about how to mix and match these pieces of information and why I am using 10 MACD and what is this momentum power indicator, what makes them bullish or bearish, and how do I use true market sentiment in my decisions, you will learn more about that in my online stock market course, which is the Evergreen Strategy in Trading and Investing the Philippine Stock Market. That is one of the 6 inclusions in our stock market subscription service. I'll tell you more about it later, but first things first, let me give you my recommendations. Now, if you still have Metrobank in your portfolio and under the assumption that your trailing stop is still intact, I would recommend that you do 2 things. First, hold your position. Don't top up yet. topping up at this moment is a waste of buying power. Why? Because the downtrend is more likely to continue. Why would you waste your buying power when data shows that the downtrend is more than likely to continue? Make sense? Number two, reduce the percentage of risk on your trailing stop. Holding your position is not enough. So you need to reduce, I suggest that you reduce the percentage of risk on your trailing stop. The, the nitty-gritty details on how to do that is discussed. I discussed that in our online stock market course for our customers in that video. Okay? Now, that's my recommendation if you still have Metrobank and if your trailing stop is still intact. Now, if you don't have Metrobank, I would suggest that you park your buying power for now, be on a wait and see mode. Don't do a test buy yet. Once the 10 MACD and momentum power indicator become bullish, that's the time that you can position for a test buy within the dominant range. Okay? So that's it. Now, a while back, I was talking about our stock market subscription service. Let me tell you briefly about it. So here, go to equilyst.com/subscribe and then read everything from top to bottom, every word, from the very first word to the very last punctuation mark, because I have explained everything in simple English, with examples, with pictures, so that you can exactly see what you're going to see, even before you pay for your subscription. Okay? So here, there are 6 things, there are 6 inclusions that you will get when you subscribe. Number 1, you will get an access to our online stock market course. You will learn how to analyze like how I analyze. Okay? Then number 2, you will get an access to our daily report with 10 trading ideas for short-term trading, if you'd like to do short-term trading. It's not compulsory to do short-term trading, just, if you just like to. Okay? Number 3, you will get an access to our investment guide for long-term investing. We monitor all 30 blue chip companies. We will tell you which ones have a buy signal confirmation, together with the dominant range where it is most logical to buy. Number 4, you will get an access to our private clients forum. This is where you can ask questions. This is where you can request for our latest analysis on any Philippine stock. Number 5, you will be eligible to our Learn to Earn affiliate program. This is how it works. First, you need to submit your analysis in our private clients forum. I am going to check it. If I see that it's on par with what I taught you in our online stock market course, I'm going to ask you, would you like us to publish this one on our websites? And if you say yes, we're going to publish it with your picture, with your byline, and with your affiliate link. This way, when you share it and when someone subscribes to us through your affiliate link, you will get a 20% commission. That's how we do it here. It's a positive reinforcement, just so you will really pour in the amount of time and energy necessary for you to not just learn, but to master our evergreen strategy in trading and investing in the Philippine stock market. Last but not the least, you will get a free online stockbrokers account and access to FirstMetroSec PRO. That's the most advanced online stock trading platform in the Philippines today by First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. Alright, and at the bottom you will see our testimonials together with the 3 steps on how to subscribe with the payment options. Okay, so again, go to equilyst.com/subscribe. Now, have you ever heard of the first ever online stock market library in the Philippines? We have it. We have it first. Go to equilyst.com/library. What do you get when you visit this? By the way, this is a free resource. Yes, free. Okay? You will be able to read our news articles. We write our own news. We don't copy and paste someone else's news article. You will be able to read our analysis. You can listen to our podcasts. You can watch our videos. You can use our calculators. I program them personally. And you can access our word bank, our dictionary. Let's say you'd like to know what PE ratio stands for. Just type in PE ratio and then it will give you the definition. If it's not yet in our database, you can click this click here, link on top, and then submit the word to us. Submit the phrase or word, and then we're going to add it into our database. And more. This is free. Now, you can imagine what more you will get when you become a paying customer. This is, if we can afford to give this much information for free, what more do you get when you become a paying customer? Make sense? Now, at the bottom, you will see a sign up form to our newsletter. This is for free. So sign up with your username, with your first name and email address. And then if you're listening to this podcast on SoundCloud, or if you're watching this video on YouTube, follow us on our other social media accounts. There's a description box down below where you will see the links to our social media accounts. Follow us on Facebook, Facebook page, Facebook group, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, etc. Why? Why should you do that? Because when you subscribe to our newsletter and when you follow us on our social media accounts, you will receive an email notification and a social media notification, respectively. Okay? So, when we publish a new episode like this one. And these things are for free. Alright? So, I hope you've learned something cool and useful in the 131st EquiTalks episode of Equilyst Analytics for Metro Bank. MBT, that's the stack code. Alright, so again, my name is JC De Guzman. Invest independently, trade tactically.